just love music, they run the show at night. Dropping beats and lineup tips, turning waiver wire into light. Fast lane pickups, midnight moves, setting rosters right. They'll tell you who to start and who to bite the fight. Listen to sports rivals, rockin' renegades, crank it loud, crank it proud. Wanna win your fantasy league? Join the renegade crowd. John and Ralph know the way. They'll guide you through the fray. Starts and sits, waiver wire pickups. Tune in and play. From sleeper calls to breakout stars, they break it down and play by play. Stats and stories, grit and guts, they sharpen up your day. Trade advice and matchup gold, they hustle for your pay. Putting fantasy in overdrive, carving out the way. Listen to sports rivals, rockin' renegades, crank it loud, crank it proud. Wanna win your fantasy league? Join the renegade crowd. John and Ralph know the way. They'll guide you through the fray. Starts and sits, waiver wire pickups. Tune in and play. Late night hustle, early morning reads, they're scanning every game. Fast lane pickups, timely hits, they've got the instincts and the flame. No fluff, no noise, just real talk, no two hosts the same. John and Ralph, your fantasy compass, staking out the claim. Listen to sports rivals, rockin' renegades, crank it loud, crank it proud. Wanna win your fantasy league? Join the renegade crowd. John and Ralph know the way. They'll guide you through the fray. Starts and sits, waiver wire pickups. Tune in and play. Listen to sports rivals, rockin' renegades, rock your roster every day. Fast lane pickups, John and Ralph know the way. Turn it up, set.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Bibles, Rockin' Renegades Fantasy Football, and I can't believe I'm saying it, week 15 already. We're here to get you ready for your playoffs. Start sits, pickups. Before we get started though, hey, I know you guys out there, you fantasy guys, you're looking for places to get your fantasy jerseys, you're looking for fantasy hats, you're looking to get your logos to put onto things. All Pro Louay. If you hit them up, give them a call, 412-942-0735. They'll get your logo. They'll get whatever you need onto a shirt. And this is good for you band guys, too. If you want your band logos, you want some band shirts, give Louay a call. They'll hook you up. And before we get started, as usual, our co-host, our guru of the gridiron, John. How you doing, buddy? What's going on?
Week 15, Ralph. How are you, brother?
Good, good.
I got
Nice. Nice jersey, man. That's a sweet one. The Bucks representing the Bucks, huh?
Yeah, throwback Mayfield 50th anniversary. You know, with the old school Bucks hat. Look,
Very
man,
nice.
it's like the Burger King colors, representing two things: Buccaneers, Burger King. What better way to start week 15 of the fantasy season?
It sure is. It sure is. I think I probably would have went with the Vinny Testaverde, but I guess we can roll with Mayfield, huh?
Yeah, I think it's a better representation, maybe.
So, John, tell us about who are other sponsors this week. What do you got for us this week in coffee?
Fast Lane Coffee, man. Coca Tonic Phonic.
Very nice.
This is my favorite flavor that we have. Man, chocolate. If you like chocolate and you like the coffee flavor with the chocolate, not an overbearing chocolate, but man, this is good stuff. RockYourJava.com, Fast Lane Coffee. We're ready to go, man.
I hear there's a chocolate raspberry Rockin Renegades. Raspberry chocolate could be in the works, huh?
We're working on some stuff. You better believe it. We need a Renegades flavor, man.
We sure do, man. I'm throwing it out there. I want a raspberry chocolate, John. Can we make that happen?
Let's do it. Let's get it done.
Speaking of making things happen, John, we're here to help everybody through the playoffs and make it happen for them, man, to win their fantasy championships coming up this week. Well, actually not championships this week, but, the start of the playoffs, you got your wild card starting. For those of you that have, 6 people to make or 6 teams to make the playoffs, your wild cards are playing this week. How many playoffs you in, John?
I'm in a few, but my 2 main ones I missed this year. And, I want to announce the Fast Lane Player of the Week that helped me in one.
Very nice.
Puka Nacua. I mean, this guy is just incredible. I mean, if you got to see this game and what he did, I mean, the catches, over defensive backs. I mean, it seems like he's open on every single play. He's basically unstoppable at this point.
Fast Lane Player of the Week, Puka Nacua. I know you're a little bitter about our league that you and I are in, John. And why don't we talk about the Fast Lane Dud instead of the Fast Lane Stud of the Week? And we did talk about this guy a couple of weeks ago on how, he's a better fantasy quarterback than he is a real quarterback. But I'll let you speak of how he knocked you out of the playoffs, John.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. I went in needing 25 points. Marion Hampton and Jalen Hurts. Hampton scores right away, puts up 14 for me, even on limited touches. Jalen Hurts, man. And Jalen, if you're listening out there, or if I could send some telepathic message to you, just put the cleats down, man, when it comes to fantasy playoffs. 4 picks, a fumble. I mean, he couldn't have played a worse game. I think he went back to his grade school days, and that's where he was dreaming out of that game because it was bad.
I seen it too, John. We were texting back and forth when that one, I think it was a 25-yard pass that he overthrew a wide open A.J. Brown, man. And I have Brown in 2 of my leagues too, and I seen that. I'm like, oh, but yeah, it can be frustrating when you're watching Philly, but. The good thing I like to see is there was a nice 50-some-yard run by Barkley. So, he was grinding it out, put up over 100 yards, got a touchdown. It was nice to see Barkley looking back like his old self. So
I agree. And it's crazy that they almost eliminated him from that offense. I mean, that offense, it goes the way Jalen Hurts goes, but you got to give Barkley the ball. No matter what way you do it, it's unreal that they haven't done that.
And I agree with you. It's surprising to me that they've actually won championships because when you're not getting your premier running back the ball and you're not getting your premier receiver the ball, who the hell's scoring and what's going on with that team? What I find funny is they're making the playoffs and winning a Super Bowl, and their coach is on a hot seat, yet we can't even get ours. I don't know, John. I don't know.
Yeah, ours should be sitting on a volcano. That's how hot the seat should be.
You would think, right? You would think. And we did get a lucky win this week. And let's talk about our Steelers real quick before we go with our start and sits. Steelers got lucky, John. To me, that was a touchdown pass, in Baltimore. For Baltimore, I should say. Looked like he had possession, 2 feet down. He gets the third step in. They knock the ball away. They call it no catch. I don't know. I think I'd have a problem with that if I was the Ravens.
Yeah, I agree with you. 2 feet down. It looked like he established possession. It was almost like the Rooneys were paying it and saying, "Hey, listen, we need to keep Tomlin around one more week."
John, we watched
win to make it look good because it was bad.
We watch these games in and out every game. I'm almost at the point what is a catch now? You know what I mean? It's like if it's 2 feet down, it's a catch, right? And then it's I get frustrated, John. But anyway, let's talk about the start and sits this week.
Yeah, we got some good lists here. I guess you want me to start first, and look, my quarterback start this week is a guy that's on your roster. Actually, when we were doing a draft, I think you drafted 3 ahead of me when I was ready to take him, and it's
John,
Jackson Dart.
I took him in the 10th round. You had 10 rounds to take him ahead of me.
I
So
know, and I didn't even think about it, until then, and you got him before me. But really, man, it was a great pick, 10th round. I mean, Jackson Dart. I mean, look the way this kid's playing. I mean, you obviously you're going to have the bumps and everything. Rookie quarterback, just learning how to read the defenses and the speed of the NFL game. But this kid, looks like a pure superstar for the future, and he's my start this week. I think I think it's the Giants team that's it's slowly but surely coming together. We'll see what they do for the remainder of the season, but I really like Jackson Dart this week.
imagine what he's going to do next year, John. When you get Scatabo coming back, you're going to have Neighbors coming back. That kid, the tight end, that Johnson. They have a nice young team, man. I see the Giants being an up and comer. And John, you're stand up, and let's talk about your jersey real quick because we're going to talk about my start of the week. And I know we've been down on Mayfield the last couple of weeks, but I get it. He hasn't been good the last 4 games. He scored under 18 points the last 4 games. Under 200 yards, 1 TD a week. He hasn't had a multiple TD game in weeks and weeks. But you have guys coming back. You got McMillan. You got Evans coming back this week. I see him taking a big step forward this week. He's going to be my start of the week. And plus, they're going against Atlanta. I mean, you look at Atlanta, over the last 4 of the last 5 games, the quarterbacks have scored over 24 points. And over 3 of them, they were guys like Young, Tyrod Taylor. And then, I mean, you can't say Darnold. I mean, Darnold, does well, but these are mediocre quarterbacks. I think Mayfield has a big week this week.
I agree with you, Ralph. We got a message up here. Hey, Shelby.
Hey, Shelby.
So, yeah, I would say, I think that's a great pick, too. I mean, with those receivers coming back and that offense, you think how many superstars are sitting on that offense? I mean, not only the receivers, but the running backs as well. You see, Bucky Irving coming back, and I thought he looked fantastic. The opening 2 games. I mean, he's getting the touches. A lot of people didn't think he'd get those touches immediately. I thought they'd kind of ease him back in. Bucky didn't want that, man. He just took the ball, took the rock, took it in the end zone, both games. I mean, he just looked good. And when they get those receivers back, Evans, Jalen McMillan, how much I love that guy.
You got Godwin. He's coming back. From the fibia problem. Then I mean, Mbuka. They're sitting pretty for this. For the long haul here at the end.
I agree. I mean, what better time to get healthy?
No doubt.
They look kind of shaky the last couple of weeks. Like you said, Baker hasn't been himself. He really hasn't looked like he's felt really comfortable in the pocket. He's still making the plays that we always see. Running the ball, getting the first downs when he needs to. But it's just they've been out of sync. But Mike Evans coming back, that's a huge lift to that team.
So let's look at our running backs now, John. I'm going to start off with Devin Neal. I'm going with Kamara's going to probably sit again. I know talk about Neal is, he was a little limited. They said he had a gut problem. But Kamara's going to sit. You look at he had what did he have last week? 20 touches. What do you have, 70 yards or something like that? A touchdown. And they're going against Carolina. Carolina's D isn't anything spectacular. I mean, I see a nice game from Devin Neal this week.
Yeah, I see him starting to get a little more touches, a little more a little more entrenched in that offense too. I mean, he's been sharing it with Kamara. Kamara's been in and out. Now he's got a chance to to work himself in a little bit. And and they came off a big win last week. I mean, that was a huge win.
Yeah.
Who would have thought the Saints would have went into Tampa to win that game in bad weather, in the rain. So it was sloppy on both sides of the ball. But yeah, Neal's a good pick. I mean, I like this kid. He's a good running back, solid.
And the thing with Neal is most of the leagues, John, if you look, we talked about picking him up last week. And I got to tell you, John, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I've been the guy to make some calls over the last couple of weeks on who to pick up. And, it goes way back, to, going to talking about Watson coming in that one week. He had a big week. Vidal had that big week. What about Jameson Winston having that 3-touchdown week when we called it?
You call that. That's right.
And I'm saying if Neal's out there, maybe, guys, for your playoff run, if you're looking for a spot start of somebody, good pickup of a guy, because I think he's only rostered like 30% of the leagues or less. So it could be a good ad for a flex spot if you have a position that you're looking to fill a guy in that's going to get plenty of touches this week.
That's right. I mean, if you're looking at the rank, he's a 22nd ranked running back. I mean, he's below Woody Marks, Breece Hall. I think I'd put him a little higher than that, based on, some of the matchups here. But, I think he's a great pick. If he's sitting out on the waiver wire, man, you got to be all over this guy, especially if you're hurting a running back, which most of us always are.
Speaking of Woody Marks, who's your running back start of the week?
You'll like this guy.
Rico I thought it was going to be Woody Marks. Oh.
Rico Dowdle, man, the man that kicked my man Chuba Hubbard to the curb, after I had him all started ready to go, man, and Dowdle comes in and just squashes that. But man, look, they're playing. They got the what do they got this week? I mean, New Orleans. We just talked about that.
Yep.
They got the Saints this week. I mean, I think that Rico gets back on track. We haven't seen we actually saw Chuba take over and play a better game, last game. They come back off the bye week now against the Saints. I think it's, I think we're going to see him come back, get the touches, and put it up on the Saints.
They're saying Dowdle's the man, but I'm seeing more of a 50-50 backfield split myself.
I agree.
But I agree with you. It should be a good start. They should be able to run against the Saints. But John, your leagues, man, if you win the championship this year, you're getting some jerseys made up with your logo on it.
Oh, if I win it, if I make it, we're not doing any of that.
Yeah.
It's
John, if you win and you want to put your logo on something, call All Pro Lee Way. Tell them, send them down your logo. You want jerseys for the whole You want them for the whole league. You want to hand them out, man. Let them know you're the champ. Give them a call, 412-942-0735. All Pro Louay. They will have your jerseys for you. And for your band guys, too, you want your band logos on a shirt. You want hats. You want underwear. Louay will do it all for you. Just give them a call. Give them a call and tell them Sports Bible sent you.
And I want to get this logo. I got to get the Fast Lane Coffee T-shirts made up. We're working on a few things.
Perfect. Call
get a hold of these guys.
The Fast Lane shirts put together.
That's right.
You send it out. You order $100 worth of coffee, you get a free T-shirt.
That's right. Listen to that. I mean, he's already putting together sales.
I'm telling you, man, I got it all set up. If they order enough, man, we'll get the guys from Funhouse to sign a couple boxes of coffee going out to everybody.
That's the way it should be too, man. That's a great look. You guys already know how I feel about you. It's the greatest bunch of guys you could possibly meet. I've known you guys for how long it's been, and I know we don't get out to enough shows. I wish we could. And there's so many crazy things going on.
It's always crazy. But
everybody that's listening, get out and see these guys. I mean, this isn't just we call it a circus, the electric circus, just like Wasp did, but that's our electric circus here in Pittsburgh. They're my favorite bunch of guys. I mean, I love going to the shows. I love dealing with these guys, talking to them. There it is right there. $155.
It's going up in price, John. Going up in price.
Man, JT always hooks you up, man.
He sure does. John, what about your running back sit of the week? Who do you have sitting?
My sit of the week this week is Breece Hall. You know, and I'm looking at the list here. They're going up against Jacksonville. That Jets offense, you know, really, you could put them up against, you know, basically anybody, and you just don't see the production. I mean, there's no fear at the quarterback position. You know, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm putting 8 in the box, maybe all 11 in the box to stop Brees Hall. It's a shame. I mean, the guy's a great running back. You know, I thought this year that we would start seeing a little more out of the Jets. You know, we thought that, you know, at least something would come together with Aaron Glenn and putting that team together. We haven't seen it. You know, and it just goes to show you need a quality starting quarterback in
No
this
doubt.
league to, you know, to make things happen. I mean, if this team ever gets it together, there's so much talent around, you know, that organization. They just can't seem to put it together, and it's year after year. But, you know, as much as I like Brees Hall, I'm sitting him this week against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been playing really good.
That's probably a solid sit. And I'm going to actually go with a team that actually their O-line's been struggling, man. And my sit of the week is going out to Kansas City, and that's going to be Kareem Hunt. You know, they're going against the Chargers. The Chargers only allowed 4 rushing touchdowns since week 7. The last time Kansas City played them, none of the running backs did score anything. Now I know Hunt's been hot. You know, I know he has 5 TDs in the last 6, but I think this is the week where he runs into maybe 15 carries and like 30 yards rushing, no touchdowns. I just can't see him having a big week this week.
No, I agree with you. I mean, if you look at the way that Chargers defense has been playing, I mean, that's a sleeper defense of the NFL this season. I mean, you know what they did to Philly last week.
I was just going to say they look good this week, huh?
Yeah. I think that's a great that's a great sit.
But moving on, John, we're getting close to almost wrapping up the show. If you guys have any questions, if you have any pickup questions, if you have any sure trades are just about done in your league. But who to start, who to sit? Playoffs are up, man. Let us help you win. Let's go to the receivers, John. Who you start this week?
I got a good start this week. This is a guy I traded away in our league, you know, to actually get Mayfield and a bunch of other players, but that's Nico Collins. You know, he's Nico with the injuries of Stroud, you know, and the inconsistencies there this year. Nico's been one of those guys that really hasn't broken out. You know, I think, but this is the week. I think that team is starting to, you know, get a roll on there. The defense is lights out. You know, this offense starts to pick it up. You know, I think that they could go far into the playoffs. I mean, I don't want to say that right now. You know, defensively, absolutely. But if Stroud and that offense gets it together, you know, the way that they did a few years ago, and we see that. But Nico Collins is my guy this week. I mean, I think he breaks out. I mean, we got him. See where he got him ranked at here. I'm trying to pull that up right now. But I mean, Nico against Arizona. Think about that. Look what Puka Nacua did against Arizona. That defense. You know, I see Nico being the main guy this week. I see 2 touchdowns, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to see 125 yards and 2 TDs. You know, I think it's the week he breaks out.
That's a bold call to get 2 touchdowns to Nico. I mean, especially over 100 yards. You look over the last couple of weeks. Yes, he's been better, but how many games does he have over 100 yards this year? Not many. Maybe 1. No.
Yeah, so, maybe 1, maybe 2. Yeah.
You know, I think it's a good start though. I mean, you know, with Stroud coming on a little bit, I think I would have to agree with you. But John, my start of the week is going against our Steeler backfield. You know, I should just pick any receiver to go against the Steelers the way it's been rolling for us. But I'm going with Waddle. You know, and I'm not a big Tua fan. I'm not a big Miami fan. And I know, like, you know, he's only scored like single digits, you know, the last 3 games. But he is going against the Steelers this week. You know, Pittsburgh's, you know, they're the 5th most points allowed to our perimeter receivers, you know, in the league. And I mean, there's 14 receivers that have scored over 15 points against the Steelers so far in the season. This is week 15. So you're talking about every week they're letting a 14, 15 point receiver get past them. I'm starting Waddle this week, and man, if Hill was in the league, I think Hill would have blown. If Hill was healthy, I think he would have blown up for 200 yards against the Steelers.
Agree.
Start Waddle this week if you have him.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be seeing him waddling that penguin in the end zone maybe multiple times this week. I mean, look, Pittsburgh can't cover anybody. I mean, especially a premier receiver. And this is one of those games where, hey, look, we just got over the Ravens. Is Tomlin going to be able to put two in a row together? It seems like every year, I mean, we know this every year. We talk about this every year, is these guys just can't put consistency together. If the defense is bad, the offense is good. If it switches around, miscommunications in the secondary. I mean, we point out things, and we've been doing this for 10 years. When this team has any type of shot to put other teams away, win a division or whatever they need to do, they fail. So I think that's a great start on Waddle. I would start him in every single league with confidence this week.
And the thing we talk about the Steelers is they have a way to not getting the team up for the bad games.
Exactly.
They lose these games they shouldn't lose. And this game against Miami is a game they should not lose. But maybe A-Chain rips off a bunch of runs. Waddle picks them apart. Old man, the tight end, Darren Waller. Maybe he gets in on the action this week. The Steelers can't cover shit, John.
Can't cover a tight end. That's right.
Yeah, I would say if you have Waddle start. What about your sit of the week at receivers?
My sit of the week, Michael Wilson, and I got this combined with Jacoby Brissett as my sit for Arizona this week.
You're stacking your team the other way, man. You're stacking the sits instead of stacking the starts.
Stacking the opposite way, man. Look, against the Houston defense, I think this is the week where, if Brissett's going to have that bad game, this is it. Defense is lights out. If the offense puts it together, maybe you'll see Jacoby needing to throw a lot more. We're already probably going to see that, but I'm just saying, if this is the week that he has his down week, and we see the old Jacoby Brissett, this is it. And I think Michael Wilson, goes down with him as well. I mean, that's the best defense in the league right now. He's going to be under pressure the entire game. Great defensive backfield. I mean, I'm stacking it like you said. And let's put it this way. I also owe Jacoby. I also owe Michael Wilson. Jacoby had a great game for me this week. Michael Wilson beat me, because Jacoby had to throw to him. I was going to start Mayfield, but, it just worked out badly, man. I don't even know what to say.
It happens. John.
Michael Wilson, you're done, man. You're sitting this week, dude.
My sit of the week is going against the top defense in the NFL. And I'm sitting Michael Pittman. It's looking like Old Man River is going to be throwing to Pittman this week, right? You're going to see a healthy dose of Taylor. With Jones being out, they're struggling right now to find a quarterback. They're bringing 44-year-old, Phillip Rivers, off of the retirement home heap. They reached out to Sam Ellinger. He's sitting on a practice squad in Denver, and they're like, "Hey, man, come on out and back out and play with us." He's like, "No, man, I'm good. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to be the third or fourth string quarterback here out in Denver." I don't know who they're going to reach out to next. They might be knocking on Andrew Luck's door, like, "Hey, man, we know you. Why don't you come in and throw for a little bit?" I don't know who's going to be throwing to Pittman this week. It's not good. I mean, I hate to say it, you guys. Pittman's had a good year. He's had a good year under Jones. But this is not a good week to start him against one of the top defenses in Seattle. He would have to be my sit of the week. But for you guys that are in the playoffs that only have one quarterback, that are in super flex leagues and start two quarterbacks and need another guy, Rivers is going to be out there. Another guy's going to be out there for your old Steeler fans is Kenny Pickett. It looks like he's starting over Smith this week. Kenny did come in. He did throw a touchdown in relief out there. Could be a couple pickups for you Superflex people looking for an extra quarterback this week.
Another one is, as much as I hate to say it, is Shadur Sanders.
Dude, I picked Sanders
come
3
on.
weeks ago off of that heap, man, and
Yep.
not that I'm going to start him anytime soon, but I'm going to hold him through the rest of the year to see what we get with him and use him as some good trade bait for people looking for a quarterback.
Yeah, I like that pick. I saw you picked him up. And
I picked him up in one league, kept him, picked up another league, held him for 2 weeks and dropped him, and he blew up. So
yeah, it's crazy. But really, if you get to see Cleveland play, much as how many times do you hear that? Get out and watch the Browns play. But Shador's look really good.
He's looked really good. Judkins has looked really good. You still got Myles Garrett. They got a couple young linebackers, coming in, this year. They could be. You could see them overtake the Steelers here in the next year or two, as being atop the division. I hate to say it, and I never thought I'd say it, but the Browns might be in a good seat.
I think so too. Good young players, And is this the answer a quarterback? We don't know. We haven't seen enough of him. But just look at the reads that he's making and the throws that he's making. I was really surprised. I got to watch some of the game, and to see the way the kid sat in a pocket and he let plays develop. You don't see that too often out of a young guy that early. You see erratic play. You see, he's kind of, shifty in the pocket. He wants to get out. He wants to escape. He's been sitting in there making some tight throws in key situations. And I was really surprised. The name Sanders, especially tied to his dad, I'm not a fan. I can say that. But man, this kid looks good. If he's out there and you need a quarterback, like Ralph said, in a flex right there, this is one of the guys you're going to want to take.
It's a good guy to take a chance on, especially this late. Especially if any of you guys are in dynasty leagues or keeper leagues, and you're struggling at quarterback. You hate to say it. Sometimes you never want to roll the dice on a Browns quarterback, but he did look good this week. Is it a fluke? Deshaun Watson is coming back, John. You know what I mean? But it won't be too soon. So he's off getting that rub and tug, and then he's out again. So
it's going to say that. It's going to say that he'll have Bob Kraft with him. And, they'll be doing some damage off the field. So definitely want to get some Shador, get him in there, hold him if you can. Like Ralph, man, he picked him up. That's a good pickup. Like you said, you got trade bait at the absolute minimum.
But everybody, I know it's coming up, your fantasy playoffs next week. I know everything's starting. It's 1 week early. We usually go up to week 17. If you have any questions, any pickups, any starts, any sits, reach out to us. We'll help you. Again, reach out, John. You need your slogan. You need your logo put onto a shirt. All Pro Leeway. They'll go all the way for you, man. They'll put your logo on. They'll get whatever you need. And then we got John, the Fast Lane Coffee. Another great product. It's great to see the great sponsors we have here at Sports Bible and Rockin' Renegades, and a lot of good products, a lot of good people, a lot of good community businesses. Keep your business local. John, anything else before we go for the week? Oh yeah, Lucky 13's the draft party this year. I guess we'll be live for the big Steeler draft, huh?
Yeah, we'll be live for the entire draft. I'm going to have to bring all my jerseys and have to line it up.
Dude, you might have to switch a jersey for each team when they draft, and we'll have to go to a podium. And you're going to have to show off all your jerseys.
I'm going to have to. That's what this party's about. This is going to be a good one, too. This draft. If you can't get down there, we'd love to be down there front and center to shake Goodell's hand and everybody and, say hi and get up there and do our thing. But unfortunately, we can't. So Lucky 13's NFL draft party. This is going to be a good time. I think it's going to be a real good time.
I agree. But come see us. Maybe next year when Sports File is making more money, they can fork up some seats for us in front and center. Maybe wherever they wherever they're holding the draft next year, John. We'll get a flight ticket to go out, and we'll just charge it to JT's Sports 5 account, and I'm sure that'll fly. That shouldn't be a problem, I think.
Then we get the private jet too. I mean, a Sports 5 private jet, the
No doubt.
limousine when we land, champagne. JT does it right. So when you get to this party, I'm sure he's going to be providing drinks for everybody. It's going to be one of those things, man. It's going
to be water and steel bread on his tab, man. That's what you're going to get.
That's it.
John, our guru, the gridiron. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. We got playoffs coming next week. You need us. You know where to find us every Wednesday night, 8:30. Sports 5 of Rockin' Renegades. See you guys next week. Peace.
Next week.